Welcome back to Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Regional semifinal number 2. Here at the home of the Butler Bulldogs. And speaking of, right on cue, there is Blue the fourth at mid-floor. We are ready for the Butler Alumni, all good dogs, here on the second round on the strength of their victory over Shield 219, the Valpo alums. And they'll face Fail Harder. This is the 3-7 matchup. Fail Harder, one of the big headlines of that first round. Their decimation of Assembly Ball. The Indiana Alumni 89-76. Two-time All-Big Ten guard Jordan Taylor, Neil Sika here to have some fun. The winner will play in the regional final tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on Fox Sports 2 against the defending champs, Carmen's Crew, surviving past Fort Wayne champs 73-69. But you've got the hometown crowd involved, Jordan, in this game with all good dogs. It's filling in here at Hinkle Fieldhouse, but Fail Harder, they're not grabbing surprises anymore. What they did on national TV come Saturday, the way they took down Assembly Ball, and it's a loaded group with great coaching, and it's leading to what should be a great tilt here in Game 2.
Fail Harder has some similarities with the last group, Fort Wayne champs, and just the way they approach the game. Is going to be a lot of high ball screens, open floor, and you know they got the guy, the elite scorer, Darius Adams. But it was Reggie Kasoonlal and co. and everybody else who pitched in. A little bit of a different challenge here. Another Indiana alum team in the All Good Dogs, but some different challenges with Miles Tate and crew to guard at the point of attack.
Kasoonlal was electric in that first half for Fail Harder, the 7-footer with the eccentric hair, and a fan favorite he quickly became from Jacksonville, Florida, the 29-year-old. 57% though from the field. They shot 52% from 3. And Darius Adams, when push comes to shove, that guy's going to have the ball in his hands, and just an illustrious career both at the collegiate level and then internationally. And for him to be a part of this group, leading them forward, they've got a good shot because they've got a game winner within the fabric of their team.
Darius Adams is known for his scoring. He's going to fill it up. That's what China is known for. When you go over there, you got to go get a bucket. And he can do just that with the ball in his hands. The one thing that Fail Harder surprised us with and the nation on Saturday was it wasn't Darius Adams scoring with the ball in his hands. It was the guys making plays for Darius Adams, getting him shots off the catch, off the move. And then when he had it in his hands, all the attention he creates. 9 assists for the bucket getter, which is something that he's not actually known for. So we'll see the game plan here from Coach Sean Van Zandt, the former Butler Bulldog.
And let's not shortchange their big man hitting threes. Tyler Weidman, big fourth quarter, went off, hit 4 threes. The St. John, Indiana native. He starts with Bo Hodges, Ty Gross, Sean McDermott, and Shelvin Mack, the longtime NBA staple. And the Butler Hall of Famer. Those 2010-2011 teams. Clarence Armstrong, Ed Crenshaw, James Curran are our refs. Regional semifinal number 2 from Indianapolis underway here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. And Weidman has it ripped away with Henson knocking it over, and Adams with the reverse can't finish.
Darius Adams trying to get funky off the jump.
Shelvin Mack for 3, in and out. Batted around, a couple of volleyball taps, and Kendrick Chua, keeping it alive, but not in possession for Fail Harder. Shelvin Mack, you have to laugh. He said maybe 5 to 10 minutes in me. He even told his teammate Sean Van Zandt, and then as soon as he got in, he goes, I want to play every minute.
So the competitor he is, man. 2 Final Four runs. As you see, Hodges gets started with the turnaround, but ultimate competitor, 8 years in the NBA. 2 Final Four runs with the Butler Bulldogs. He's going to compete when it comes down to it.
Henson turns it over. Remember, it was a terrible start to the game for Fail Harder against Assembly Ball. They were down 13-3. Their head coach, Tyler Neal, called the timeout. Said, look, let's just make some drives into the paint, get the rhythm going, more than 1 pass per set. And then they calmed down and went on their way from there. This is McDermott. That's a take to the hole. He's still struggling from the outside. Just 1 field goal in the first game. He averaged 25 a game in the 2 last year. Adams racing up and is fouled on the wrist. 9-minute quarters here at TBT. 2-0, all good Dawgs, who got to the second round, and then Eberline Drive took them down last year.
McDermott slow to get up after he hit the backstand of the basket. Going to the rim, try a concerted effort by Coach Van Zandt to get him going early. As you mentioned, he can really shoot it. Trying to get him an easy layup there. Wasn't so easy.
Got him to the NBA where he played 18 games with the Memphis Grizzlies back in 2021. Number 21 for Fail Harder, Adams, who goes up, got poked in the eye. Weidman took it away. Weidman can't score. Poked in the eye, poked in the mouth. Adams, the concern is there right now for Fail Harder after he lost the handle. And a sloppy start offensively for the team in all black from head to toe. All good Dawgs wear the white. Weidman to shoot free throws.
Weidman doing what he does best early. Physical guy, getting on the offensive glass, created an extra possession the last time down. There he's high in the ball screen, pressure on Darius Adams, gets the steal. I will say that was 1,000% a foul. Darius Adams, livid.
That should be a shirt quoted by Jordan Taylor. That was 1,000%.
1,000% a foul. Put it on a T-shirt.
Seen that a few times already in the 5 games we've had here at Hinkle.
Put it on a T-shirt. But Weidman stepped out to 3 last game, hit 5 of them. Got all good Dawgs going. Was the catalyst late in the game for them.
Walker, it's over to Jyman Henson, now back to Adams. 3 is in and out. Weidman had it swatted out of his hands. Mack from Hodges. Shelvin Mack. With current head coach of the Butler Bulldogs, Thad Matta, one of the greats in the college game. Watching courtside. That shot from McDermott. Not able to ring it up from deep.
Ultra aggressive here early from McDermott. You see again, that's a matchup that you want if you're Fail Harder. He tried to hedge.
Adams, that's a swift move. Got all the way to the glass and scores.
Really good pace there by Darius Adams. The hedge was there for McDermott. He held his position, forced the switch, brought another screen, and Weidman has a great pass.
Wide open is Gross. Easy 2. 5-2.
That started with the pace and the speed of Shelvin Mack. Forced 2 guys to the ball. Weidman at the top. They had to run a help man at him, and Gross wisely cuts off the weak side. Easy layup.
There's a pull-up that's off the mark and a cold start from the field for Fail Harder. Jordan Walker misses, and now a foul from Fail Harder. Well, that was one of the things that Sean Van Zandt, the All Good Dawgs head coach, had to say at the shoot-around this afternoon. We need to get off to a better start. That wasn't the case against Shield 219. They had to scrap their way back into that game. And even though this is not what you'd call prolific, they are on the front end and have had some good looks. 5-2.
And they've struggled the past couple times out, going back to last year at getting off to those slow starts.
There's some contact from Chua, playing aggressively on Weidman. It was interesting, too. Weidman said, I asked him, when did you become a good three-point shooter? We went over on Saturday. He was 0 for 6 in his Butler career. He goes, in college. I started taking it on in practice. And that's when I started to feel a lot more confident, even though I didn't make him or get the opportunity to do so in games. And there he goes into the post and scores the old-fashioned way.
You got to give him credit working on his game, and that is something that Darius Adams does not need to work on. He's been doing that a long time.
He's a Gazelle, 7-4. All good Dawgs in the lead by 3.
Darius Adams talking about he first time back since playing in China, gone through a couple of injuries. Ty Gross knocks down a 3 off the feed from Mack. But Darius Adams trying to prove he's still healthy. Big age of 36, still doing it, still getting buckets, still looking young and spry.
Ty Gross, measured, composed, gets himself into good spots and make plays. That's what he did against Shield 219. He had the tip slam home off a rebound to finish that off, and he hits a 3 moments ago. He's already got 5 early points in this game. All good Dawgs are 4 of 7 from the field. This foul in shooting motion where Jesse Bingham goes to the line. So 9 guys are in the rotation for Fail Harder. 6 are from Indianapolis, and the other 3 played their college ball here in Indy. So it's a hard connection to the area. We've already talked about the chip on the shoulder for those who thought that they were good enough to maybe play in the Big Ten or at Indiana, didn't get that chance. So they got over the one hurdle and took down Assembly Ball, and now hoping to take down another alumni base in Butler's and All Good Dogs. Bingham hits the first free throw.
Not only did these guys not play where they wanted to necessarily in the Big Ten, but a couple D2 guys here on the TBT stage who are really talented players. Just goes to show, again, all the talent that you face, especially in this Indy area, known for its basketball.
Thomas left it shy. Reggie Kasunlal comes on. He was the one that was electrifying in the first half for Fail Harder. Got them going. Henson can't buy the jumper. Free throw line extended. Speaking of getting All Good Dogs going, they had this guy, Miles Tate, the spark off the bench running the point. Here's a face-up jumper from Thomas. A clash for the board. Thomas, no look. Right to Henson. To the middle for Adams. And the bounce pass and the cut. The lay-in comes from Walker.
Adams picking up his passing game where he left off. Feeding Walker right there. And Fail Harder starting a similar way as they did the other night. Some questionable shots in the half court, but looking really good in transition.
Hodges methodically working on Adams. Back to Tate. Here's the youngster. Tate falling away from 14. No, and the rebound, Henson. Fail Harder grows in confidence. Down 3. Henson straight on. Too strong.
Henson's got a couple shots here. He played really well the other night. Don't necessarily love those two from him.
He wedged in on Thomas. Unorthodox angle and uncomfortable for Thomas, who's fouled. Josh Price, and a really important component off the bench for Fail Harder on Saturday was Kobe Webster with some clutch buckets in the second half. He enters for the first time.
Kobe Webster hit a couple of big buckets in the third quarter. Reggie Kasunlal, Josh Price, really good defensively with their versatility. Price can play out on the perimeter and protect the rim. Kasunlal is a really, really high IQ defender in pick and roll.
James Justice Jr. just missed. Kasunlal, too strong, or rimmed it out on his first shot from deep. Now McDermott back to Gross, and All Good Dogs into the half court. Inside of 4 minutes first quarter, Tate.
Miles Tate, as you mentioned, was the guy who got them going the other night. Technically the backup to Shelvin Mack, but he's playing like a starter here early in the basketball tournament.
Finished at Appalachian State, started his career at Butler. Kasunlal will loop it in from in tight.
Reggie Kasunlal got it going for Fail Harder. He was a spark plug. The Miles Tate for Fail Harder, if you will, with the 3-ball, showing his touch around the rim there.
Thomas wants it from deep, doesn't get it. Price boards for Fail Harder. Here's Darius Adams. What a pass, but what a block from Thomas. Eliminates it on Price. Tate for McDermott. Good hands, Webster. Kasunlal saying it was off of the All Good Dogs player going to the rack. That's going to lead us to our first timeout with 2:53 remaining here in the opening quarter. All Good Dogs, they've led throughout, and it's 13-9 currently. This is TBT 25 from Indianapolis.
Let's welcome the 25-26 Butler men's basketball team to tonight's game. Sitting out here in the field house on Friday, October 17th, an exhibition game against Notre Dame.
2:53 remaining in the first quarter. And this matchup here, the 3 versus the 7, all good Dogs. All good crowds. They come out to support the Alumni here. You'll see Jordan Taylor, Fail Harder trailing by 4, and an inbounds coming for Miles Tate. And all good Dogs. Screen, Thomas, McDermott. Got James Justice Jr. out there. To Martin Methodist, an NAI school in Tennessee. McDermott still cannot find his shooting touch from the outside. They set him up in the corner off the inbound. Kasunlaw, Price, got Webster out there, Adams, along with Walker. This is Price. Adams, that's off the mark. He was almost trying to steer that shot in. We've all done that a time or two. I'm sure you have. Screen. Oh, that's illegal. He moves forward right into the defender, a charge.
Steer your shot in, will it in, pray, whatever you want to call it.
It's like talking to your golf ball.
Something like that. That doesn't work for me either.
No,
but
no.
a little bit of a mistake there by All Good Dogs, getting Andre Screen the ball in a position where he's got to make a play, not his strength.
What's your temperature on this game right now?
Both teams are playing hard, we can say that much, but not a lot of rhythm from both sides.
Nor in the shooting either. Price misses.
Fail Harder starting the same way. They did the same thing where they weren't getting the highest quality of shots, and it took Reggie Kasunlaw making touch shots to find their rhythm.
Hodges, Kasunlaw says, yeah, I held him. Got his arm around the waist of Andre Screen from Alexandria, Virginia. He's just 22, just wrapped up at Butler. He was 12th in the Big East in rebounds. Man in the headband on the near side of your screen.
He'll for sure have a great opportunity to have a great pro career somewhere, whether it's the G League to start or internationally. 6'10", can block shots.
You had a little G League time, did you not?
I did not. You know, these G Leaguers got it good now, man. When I was coming out, the G League wasn't.
Or you were in the summer league with Atlanta, was that
I was
right?
in the summer league, had training camp invites, but back then overseas was a better opportunity than the D League at the time. Now I think it's the two-way is a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a better league in general.
Yep. So
15-9, both free throws are good. 6-point advantage for All Good Dogs here. 100 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Yet to find their rhythm offensively. There have been a couple of those drives, though, from Adams. Here's Webster the take. Maybe that will ignite a little bit more for Fail Harder. He'll go to the foul line.
Fail Harder loves that DHO action. A lot of dribble handoffs. Coach Sean Van Zandt is no stranger to that himself. He's really good in his time at blowing up action like that. James Justice Jr. and Miles Tate at their size are also really have an affinity for getting into that, so we'll see how they handle that all game long, as no doubt that gave Assembly Ball quite a bit of trouble all night long. So if All Good Dogs can handle that, they should be in good shape.
Sean Van Zandt coaching the team for the first year with All Good Dogs. He's been a high school coach for the last 8 seasons, lives in Tampa, Florida, where he grew up, and would love to break into some NBA coaching. He's done a nice job. Here's Tate with the extra touch. That is a travel on All Good Dogs.
They had good action there. It was going to be a little fake ball screen, down screen for James Justice. Tate misread it. Smart play to pick it up there, though, before Josh Price would have surely had an easy dunk at the other end.
Adams with Fail Harder trailing by 4. Carmen's crew awaits the winner tomorrow night in the regional final. Kasunlaw from deep. Yes, that's what it looked like on Saturday.
Obi Webster pointing at his coach Tyler Neal for the nod, but Kasunlaw, he can't leave him. Justice Jr. with the answer. Kasunlaw says it's my fault. He didn't call out the screen. Kobe Webster got nailed.
18-14. We'll hope to grab it in the corner Slips off the hands of Bingham, but it was last off of All Good Dogs. Ty Gross will replace Andre Screen here for the higher seed, the one in the home whites.
See the young Bulldogs down there on the baseline encouraging the old heads, giving them a little extra boost.
They say young, but they are the current Bulldogs. The young Bulldogs have, I don't know, maybe 5 years old or younger are behind us in the stands. Free throw coming for Adams.
Future Bulldogs, if you will.
But they've looked to have a pretty good team going into next year, too, in the Big East. Thad Bonta, the head coach, and John Diebler, his assistant, of course, played for Thad Bonta at Ohio State. How about that if we had, not getting ahead of ourselves here, but Carmen's crew, All Good Dogs, that could be a potential matchup tomorrow.
Fun to watch. Maybe we get Jake Diebler down here as well. Get a little brotherly love, maybe a friendly wager, if you will.
Sending out the bat signal to Jake Diebler, head coach of Ohio State basketball. Adams makes that free throw, 18-15. Well, for Fail Harder, Kyle Guy helped put this team together. Jake Mills, really the brains behind it, the GM, done an outstanding job. Played with Kyle Guy in high school. Kyle Guy was Mr. Basketball in Indiana. You were a Mr. Basketball up in Minnesota. They throw a parade for you when that happened?
No parade, many moons ago, man. Mr. Basketball, Gatorade Player of the Year, too. I'm at that age now.
Oh, I'm shortchanging you, too.
I could start bragging now because nobody knows I still played at this age, so.
Look at my trophy case. Knocked out of there. It's going to stay with All Good Dogs, leading by 2. 28 seconds remaining in the quarter. Tate into Justice Jr. Justice pulls up at the foul line, wanted a call, and now they get it. It's almost like he was campaigning for it. He might have got some contact there. Phil Harder didn't agree.
Maybe one of those calls where the ref might have seen it. Maybe he was just going to give him the basket so he didn't go in and elected to call the foul. I actually don't mind that kind of officiating sometimes, you know.
Get it right if you feel it's right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Just be consistent.
Very
I think that's what we were saying, yes. How often would you talk to officials in-game, just having conversations when there were free throws taken or
you know, I think you've
dead
been
balls?
around me for a couple of days now, and you know that I don't really stop running my mouth, so quite frequently. Quite frequently. Dead balls up
fit
the
to
court.
be on. You're fit to be on the air. Let's say that.
I don't know about fit, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, you got to lay off those pulled pork sandwiches.
No.
They're pretty good here. They're good here. Away we go. 19-16. Fail Harder trailing by 3 after the free throws were split. Soonlaw gives the screen. Trying to tie the game right there. Adams can't convert, but they come up with a steal. Price at the horn. And that's how the quarter will end. Scruffy at times in that opening 9 minutes. The way a dog would like it. All Good Dogs lead 19-16 after 1 here at Hinkle Fieldhouse, home of the Butler Bulldogs here in Indianapolis. We'll step away and come back with the second quarter. TBT 25, 19-16, All Good Dogs.
Y'all gonna take, man? How many pictures? John, a Columbus dude now, you know that? He's moving to Columbus. He's building a house, I think, right now. I will. I definitely will. Hold up. Now you'll be watching us. You ain't got nothing better to do, man.
Hinkle Fieldhouse, a host for the Indianapolis Regional. There are 8 regionals. Home court advantage, a big part of this year's TBT, and for the first time you have the opportunity to host through the championship. This region was ranked 6 of the 8, so doesn't have priority. There'd have to be a lot of upsets for whoever comes out of it to have that advantage hosting going forward. But Carmen's crew is still the 1 seed and waiting for the winner of this one. Off we go in the second quarter. Neil Sika, Jordan Taylor, all good Dogs by 3, 19-16. Kobe Webster, Darius Adams. What a career overseas, especially with China right at the forefront of that, and splash right in the face of Tyler Weidman. He ties the game at 19.
A really crafty move there by Darius Adams. Triple stagger, they get the mismatch. It's just a simple step back with Weidman. That's going to be tough for him to guard all night long.
Southpaw Justice Jr. elevated, rimmed it out. Fail harder for the first time. They've nipped and bit their way back into this game. Evened it at 19, and now Adams hoping to get them the lead. It's tapped in, though, by Price on the other side of the rim.
Again, Tyler Weidman with the switch. That's not what you want if you're all good Dogs. You don't want him matched up with Darius Adams. Forces the miss, but opens up the offensive glass.
Weidman, there it goes, down the well. Kasunlal and Weidman each have a 3. Those big men were the standout, shooting it from deep on Saturday in the first round.
Unfortunately, I'm on public record saying Tyler Weidman's not known for shooting the ball. I owe him a public apology. He's been letting it fly in this tournament so far.
They call him Big Cat, which is kind of an oxymoron considering he plays for the Dogs. That one is hit from 15 feet, 24-21. All good Dogs by 3.
Great pace there by Justice Jr. Gets into his mid-range. Defense isn't set. That's a really high percentage shot for him.
Webster finds Adams. Goes to the slip and slide on the baseline. Shelvin Mack will get called for the foul. First on the team, first on Mack. He gets 6 personal fouls here at TBT. All good Dogs shooting 42% from the field. Phil Harder 35%. This is just after the first quarter. All good Dogs 44% from 3. They're finding Adams in another action, and he's got the layup.
It's a great read there by Darius Adams. Bo Hodges anticipating the pin down. Got a little overzealous, and Adams reads it, goes back door.
Weidman, wide range, that goes from deep, but off the back of the rim. Kasunlal wants the answer, and the big man has the reply, and barks at the bench of all good Dogs. That's his second 3. Are we starting it up again? Here's Mack with a brush of contact from Adams. That's going to be on the floor. Reggie Kasunlal was not gun shy. So the interesting thing about Kasunlal, his growth spurt didn't really occur. He was a late bloomer. So middle school, he was always a corner 3 shooter, he said. So he's had that knack for years, and then he got bigger, up to 7 feet. And then it's like, all right, go develop a post game.
Well, you're 7 feet these days, and you can shoot it like that. I don't know how much time you really should spend developing a post game, although he has shown he's got the jump hook down there. Nice little touch to start the game to get his rhythm started. But now he's back out to doing what he does best. You thought he was allergic to the paint. I was with you.
He did have a couple of nice, he was quick to point out, I said he had a nice score in the post. He said I had 2. Of course, with that game-winning layup, he had the Elam ending winner, which happened against Assembly Ball on Saturday. Quick little timeout here. 26-24, Fail Harder leading by 2.
Reggie Kasunlal has a bright future ahead of him on the floor, but the way he runs his mouth on the court, it's entertaining. He's definitely got a future over here with us one day as well. Really fun guy to watch up close and personal. He's going to let everybody hear when he gets a bucket.
Played NAIA ball finishing off at Marion here in Indianapolis to close out his collegiate career. Jacksonville, Florida. Hodges off the pivot, and the turnaround from straight away is no good. Kasunlal rebounds.
Right on cue. He's talking stuff on the rebound. You love to see it. Good defense there. It's a tough shot from Hodges.
Here's the game's leading scorer, Adams with 11. Great pass inside to the cutting Bingham with the layup.
All Good Dogs again switches Tyler Weidman out onto Adams. Shelvin Mack sees the switches in the gap. And a heady play by Bingham to back cut. Nice left-hand pass delivery from Adams.
28-24. The bench erupts thinking they had a charge, but Webster's going to be called for the block here for failed Harder. Fail Harder to find their way back from a slow start. They didn't face a giant deficit in that first quarter to All Good Dogs, but they're now playing with the fervor they want this game controlled at. It's Tate. Aggressive hands by Adams. Back to Weidman. The shot fake. Lost it. Price. Up for Adams. Adams takes a little bit of a slide there, but he was gathering possession, and he goes to Webster, and it's another bucket, and this one in transition.
And great play, heady play by Adams, but again, that was 1,000% a foul on Tyler Weidman, leading to that transition play.
Miles Tate gets the hoop for All Good Dogs. Was the largest lead a moment ago for Fail Harder at 6. 30-26 right now. Coming up on inside 5 minutes in the half. Adams has it on a string. The step back, that is so smooth. And Weidman, incidentally, steps into him. Just some contact coming up the floor. Darius Adams is in control right now. 14 points. He had 21 points. He had 16 of those points in the second half against Assembly Ball on Saturday in the big victory. 3 rebounds and 9 assists.
This is the Chinese basketball version of Darius Adams, getting it off the bounce. He's got a nice couple passes, but you're going to keep switching Tyler Weidman onto him with all due respect. That is food for Darius Adams. That's not the matchup you want. You either have to double that hedge or go into a drop and trust in your guards to fight over the screen.
Weidman battling down on Chua to Gross. The baseline J is no good. Batted around, and the last touch to Weidman of All Good Dogs. All the momentum in the second quarter for Fail Harder, leading 33-26.
Keep an eye on that fall. After Darius Adams hit that last 3, Tyler Weidman tripped over him, and it looks like he's on the bench now grabbing his foot.
Walker off the screen, top side, book it. Jordan Walker a 3. The lead is 10 for Fail Harder. Taking control here in quarter number 2.
It's a simple stagger action to get Walker open. That's not an easy shot, but All Good Dogs made it easier by getting lost.
They needed it from Weidman. It's short. Fail Harder's faithful, the bench, they're erupting. Webster, the wicked crossover. To the corner it goes. Now Walker inside to Webster. He'll back it out and reload. Coming up on 3.5 minutes. The hedge comes from Weidman. Walker fends him off, pulls it off, got it. 5 straight now for Walker. 38-26.
Weidman did a good job at hedging. Tate's got to stay there on the double and force the ball out of Walker's hands. He left Weidman there on an island again. That's not the matchup you want.
Tate slides it along. Weidman gets the bounce. Ends the run there for Fail Harder.
Good delivery there from Tate. Get a little rhythm jumper from 15 and a friendly bounce here in Hinkle for All Good Dogs.
Down 10 all of a sudden in their own barn. Webster adjusting to what Tate's doing. 8 on the shot clock. Now Webster's going to pull it. Too strong. Hit right back out to where he shot it. Tate runs it down. Weidman in transition. Walker. A little bit of a car crash, runs into him. The foul there on Fail Harder. Just the third on Fail Harder as a team here in the quarter. 2:47 remaining in the half. So what's the adjustment right now? All Good Dogs more so defensively. and how they're needing to contain what Fail Harder's doing.
Yeah, all good dogs. For one, you have to stop switching Tyler Weidman out onto these guards. As good as he is offensively, not necessarily his strength to play in space with these guards in particular. Not saying he can't do it, but it's not working. Go to the hedge, force the ball out of Jordan Walker, out of Kobe Webster's hands, out of Darius Adams' hands, and make other guys make plays. And offensively, you start getting stops, you can get in transition, you can put more pressure on this Fail Harder defense that is, really good in the half-court set, really disciplined team. But right now, it's definitely the defensive side for all good dogs, just not making good decisions.
We'll come back with the conclusion of this first half in a moment. 2:47 remaining in quarter number 2. 38-28, Fail Harder leads all good dogs. TBT 25. Fail Harder has outscored all good dogs 22-9 in this second quarter to lead by 10. Their largest lead has been 12. Neil Sika, Jordan Taylor at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Regional semifinal number 2. 8 teams will move on out into the quarterfinals of the tournament. 12th edition of TBT. Carmen's Crew, the defending champs. They're alive and well after advancing past the Fort Wayne champs, 73-69. Tyler Weidman hitting the first free throw. He's got 9 points. That's another question, Jordan. Where's the rest of the offense going to come from if you're all good dogs? Gross doesn't take a ton of shots, but you looking at Shelvin Mack out there, for as long as he's going to play, you'd like to think he needs to get some offense going.
Yeah, Shelvin Mack, obviously NBA vet, 35, 36 years old. He can get it done. I think he's more of the closer type. He'll make plays for you. The answer to me is Sean McDermott. They have to have him get some rhythm. He hasn't got any this entire tournament after being a really good option for them last season.
Unfortunately, McDermott's been on a milk carton so far in these first 2 games. The offense has gone missing. That ball went missing and stolen by Mack to Tate, quickly moving. Friendly fire. That pass was intercepted, intended for McDermott. Thomas took it away, but they keep the possession going. Tate, far side 3, well short. 38-30. Fail Harder with the ball in the lead by 8.
This is not the matchup you want either.
Adams missed it. Swatted up there by Chua. Mack back the other way for all good dogs. AGD and their point guard, Mack, left it short. Another opportunity. McDermott, and he finds something here, draws a double. Around the horn it goes. Mack, well off. McDermott rebounds. Going back to Tate, straight on, long range brick. And they have gone cold from distance, all good dogs.
Nothing going their way. They're chipping away, though, on the offensive glass. They got 6 offensive rebounds, 2 right there. Just can't find bottom.
Neither team really shooting it well from 3, but Fail Harder, 48% from the field. And that cut was good by Webster, but it's a force by Chua. And good defense, too, by Tate to poke it out of there. Leads to the foul on Fail Harder.
If you're Coach Van Zandt, you're encouraged with the defensive possessions here the past couple times down, particularly by Miles Tate. Forced 2 turnovers with being in the right position. And now, to your point, where do you go? I think you got to get some movement. The one thing about Sean McDermott, even when he's not making shots, is he forces action, he forces reaction because of the way he shoots the ball. So I think you have to put him in an action and maybe turn him into a passer if possible, or at least get the defense moving and in rotation.
McDermott's only taken 3 field goals. They go high-low here to Thomas. Good pivot, turn on the block, fouled.
That's exactly it right there. They go ball screen, pin down for McDermott. They don't get him the rock. He keeps moving. You end up with a shake ball screen for Thomas because McDermott does a great job at moving without the ball. His man was supposed to be there to help. He's not there. Good feed from Tate to Thomas, and he'll go to the line.
But Thomas misses the front end of the free throw. Jalen Thomas dealt with blood clots a couple of years ago at Butler. Just such a hard, relentless worker. He started his career at Georgia State. He's still 5th all-time in blocks at the school for the Panthers. From Detroit, Michigan, Jesuit High School splits the pair. 38-31, Fail Harder. Final minute of the first half. Webster, quick action 3. It's strong. Now Tate surveys and scans. Thomas wants to try his luck from deep. Maybe not the shot there. Webster controls.
A couple quick shots from both sides now. Maybe not the one you wanted from Webster.
I was about to say that too.
Thomas, I guess you'll live with it, but Fail Harder chooses to skip out on the 2-for-1 and get a good shot here. They haven't got a good one a couple times down now.
10 on the shot clock. Webster and Tate in isolation. Fall away 15-footer. Pretty.
Good defensive possession there for all good dogs. Kobe Webster, that's his shot. We saw that quite a few times against Assembly Ball on Saturday.
That clutch bucket after clutch bucket, 12 in that game, scoring there. That's a nice score in the post for Thomas to end the half and bring all good dogs within 7. Fail Harder own the second quarter, leading by as many as 12, taking control of the game after a slim deficit after 1 period of play, and the team that has caught really the nation and put them on notice with their performance on Saturday, continuing to play well here in the semifinal.
Yes, and it was led again, of course, by Darius Adams, Reggie Kasoon-Law, and just some overall good play. Kobe Webster getting in the mix there. You saw his late bucket. But going into this half, if you're Coach Van Zandt, all good dogs, I think you're encouraged. You're down 7. I think you started to find some defensive rhythm there at the end of the first half, and you end the quarter with 2-3 really good offensive possessions where the ball didn't go in. You got the layup from Thomas. So I think maybe you started to see the tide turning, and you're encouraged if you're all good dogs and they're faithful in the stands.
Tyler Weidman led all good dogs with 10 points in that first half. They got 6 off the bench from James Justice Jr. and 5 from Ty Gross. 14 points for Darius Adams, 7 for Jordan Walker, and 6 for Kobe Webster. Fail Harder shot 48% from the field, 31% from 3, and 83% from the foul line. All good dogs, just 35% from the field. They finished 26% from 3 to close out the first 2 quarters. At one point, they were up to 40%, 70% from the free throw line. Fail Harder outscored all good dogs, 24-14 in that second quarter. The score is 40-33, the 7th seed. Fail Harder, and a contingent of players from in and around Indianapolis, whether they were born here or played here collegiately, in the lead over all good dogs. The Butler Alumni by 7 at the break. We'll step away and come back. TBT 25 from Indianapolis at Hinkle Fieldhouse. The third quarter coming up as you watch on the TBT YouTube channel.
Fans, as a reminder, the winner of this game will be on for round 3 of the Indianapolis Regional right here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Welcome back to Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, just north of downtown, about 15 minutes. Neil Sika with the two-time All-Big Ten guard from University of Wisconsin, Jordan Taylor, and then a great pro career overseas. Having some fun, ready for the start of the second half. 40-33, Fail Harder, the 7th seed, leading the 3 seed All Good Dogs. Slowly in anticipation of Jordan's review of the Hinkle Fieldhouse soft pretzels also coming up. We were waiting on the gummy bears. You had the pulled pork. I'm wondering, where would you rate these things right now?
Well, you know, you read my mind because I was really sitting here thinking about, man, I was going to shout out Hinkle for the food.
The concessions are very good here.
The concessions are solid. Pulled pork is good. I haven't tried the nachos with the pulled pork yet. Save that for tomorrow night.
Regional final, and the winner of this one gets Carmen's Crew, the 1 seed. Away we go here in the third quarter, and they go to Weidman. He's the leading scorer for All Good Dogs, and up and down like a rainbow, throwing that from just inside the foul line.
That's their steadying force. When they need a basket, they go to Tyler Weidman on the block or a pick-and-pop action. Right there, that was a tough shot by Weidman, but a good start. We talked about All Good Dogs. You kind of saw them finding their rhythm defensively. They were starting to get more action offensively. Let's see what they can do here. They can got to make a run early in this third.
It's Adams, who's the game's leading scorer, and a good bounce off for Chua, roll into the hole.
Darius Adams in that pick and roll, known for his scoring prowess, but a really smooth drop pass into the pocket right there. Great finish by Achua.
Mack over for Hodges. Missed the 3. Henson taps the rim with the rebound. Jaimin Henson. Adams thought about it, but instead into the corner. That's a line drive that's no good, but kept alive by Fail Harder. And Henson, amongst the traffic inside, is fouled going up. Second chance opportunity for Fail Harder, leading by 7, and they'll look to expand at the line.
You're going to hear us harp on Darius Adams' scoring ability all for the rest of this game, tournament, however long they're in it. But Tyler Neal harped on his ability to be a good teammate, and he is passing the ball at a really efficient rate, and all that does is empower these guys to believe that they can go really far into this tournament, and they're delivering and rewarding him for his faith in them.
Adams had 9 assists on Saturday. He's got 3 in this game. Jaimin Henson hits the free throw. This 27-year-old from Indianapolis who played at Moorhead State. He had a tryout with the Cleveland Charge. Part of that staff once upon a time was head coach Tyler Neal and his dad Guy. Over 300 coaching wins at Bluffton University. They are Ohio through and through. And now a development academy run by Tyler Neal. He's doing a great job with that staff. He's got a former point guard at Ohio State, C.J. Walker, also assisting. The lob inside, Weidman. It's tipped away. What would you say is the message to continue on and the momentum that Fail Harder had in the second quarter for how they've played?
I think now it's kind of, hey, let's guard. Let's get our rhythm back when we get good shots. We probably are the better team, but we don't have to force them into tough shots, and then let's get out and run and use our athleticism.
Speaking of a force, that was chucking it up from Weidman. The trailer, Chua! He's got 4 in the quarter. Chua down the lane. Scores for Fail Harder. They lead by 11. Their largest has been 12 and a timeout, All Good Dogs.
Came into this tournament talking about Darius Adams. Right there, Darius Adams was wide open for 3 on the wing, but Chua's running hard down the paint, and you got to reward him after the good defensive stop, and he goes and finishes at the rim. Fail Harder is really impressive. Tyler Neal's pushing all the right buttons with his lineup combinations. Right now he's got the undersized Chua in there. They're switching everything. All these guys are athletic. They're physical. He's going to switch here in a minute and go to Reggie Kasunlal and Josh Price, and they're going to play in a drop coverage. Josh Price is going to stretch the floor. Reggie Kasunlal is going to stretch the floor. They just are complementing each other so well and playing at a really high level. An impressive outing from the 7th seed, Fail Harder.
And let's not forget, while we made big deal, and rightfully so, the upset of Assembly Ball, this is a rematch of the first round last year, and it was Trial by fire for Fail Harder. They lost 90-67. Now Adams is a part of that mix, so they're looking for restitution, and they defend well at the rim out of the timeout. Adams back to Henson, a three. Yes. They're blowing it open here in the third quarter. Fail Harder. 49-35. It's another poke. Henson, the hustle. And recovered by Thomas after the kneel steal. Everyone on that Fail Harder bench is up. Sounds like a 200-man army over there.
Just going to say, they're making it feel like a home game for them.
Chua. And now Walker looks inside. Bingham's denied and then thrown right back down by Shelvin Mack. Can that ignite all good Dogs? Tate, he's going to score with a right hand on the left side.
Shelvin Mack got away with a little bit of a harm right there. Doesn't matter. All good Dogs will take what they can get right now. Miles Tate is their energizer. He finishes it on the other end.
49-37. What a nice move here by Adams, but Thomas and Hodges are down low to quickly recover. Adams lost his footing. And the foul is on Darius Adams.
Looks like Hodges tripped over Adams after he missed the layup. Really good action there by Tyler Neal. Little Iverson cut, throw it into the high post. Butler, all good Dogs, relax, and Darius Adams just curls off the second big man. Good recovery there by Jalen Thomas after he fell asleep.
We get inside 4 minutes of that fourth quarter. It's Elam ending time. 49-37, a ways to get there with Fail Harder by 12. Knocked away. Justice Jr. is on. Tate, Thomas, Gross, Hodges for all good Dogs. Kobe Webster is going to come back on and replace Jordan Walker for Fail Harder. And they'll also bring on Josh Price.
Here comes this second wave, Fail Harder. Talk about their depth.
To Tate, draws two. The swing over for Hodges. Off the mark. Justice Jr. rebounds and scores in tight off the left.
A finish, and this two right here, James Justice Jr., Miles Tate. These are the guys that jump-started all good Dogs on Saturday. They're looking at a big deficit. They're going to have to play with energy, with tempo, and speed up Fail Harder.
Price, fall away from 16, got kicked right to Webster. They are the key in the ignition type players right now. Tate and Justice Jr. for all good Dogs, but it's been tough to stop offensively. Fail Harder, and Webster, when he's getting that look, he's very comfortable.
Obi Webster obviously spent a lot of time on that in his day.
Tate driving hard, but missed the layup, and now Price moving it out for Fail Harder. The big man shows his fluidity.
Versatility. Defensively, we talked about, he stepped out there, he gets it off the rim, coast to coast, right at the shot blocker, Jalen Thomas. Gets into his chest and negates his jumping ability. Really impressive by Price.
Price nearly had a double-double on Saturday, 9 and 8, and that three rims out for Justice Jr. It's the danger zone right now for all good Dogs. 4.5 remaining in the third. Adams flings it over. Webster in the corner, won't pull the trigger. Will brack it out and reset. Reggie Kasunlal ready at the next dead ball. Weidman and Mack going to return for all good Dogs. It's Webster working the two-man game, and he's in his wheelhouse, falling away off the left side of the lane for another jumper.
Obi Webster making that mid-range game look like a layup. He's shooting that in this tournament at about 80%.
It's turned over. Webster's the second to double figures with 10. The lead has ballooned to 16 points, largest of the game for Fail Harder. One Indiana alumni base to another, doing damage. Webster, who took that three off one leg, thought he might have drawn a little contact. Instead, stop-start from Tate, and he's denied on the block. Jesse Bingham defending it well for Fail Harder. That ball is out. We're heading to the media timeout in this third quarter. 3:38 remaining, and Fail Harder, the succession and movement towards a regional final date looks strong. 55-39 with 3:38 remaining in the third. Back to Indianapolis in a moment. TBT 25. 3:38 remaining in the third quarter. All good Dogs. They're one of the other home team favorites here in Indianapolis, and of course that's Captain Obvious, being that Butler is the host. Assembly Ball had the big fan contingent of Crimson and Cream on the weekend, but they are up against it right now to fail harder. 55-39. Mack inbounds. Gross. And he goes right up. Kasunlal fouled him.
And good execution out of the timeout. End line out of bounds. You're all good Dogs.
Where do you begin?
Running out of options. That's one way. You just got to find any momentum you can. Sean McDermott over there on the bench with ice on his wrist. Takes away that scoring option. Tyler Weidman's been the guy. It's got to be Miles Tate, James Justice. Shelvin Mack obviously capable. A little bit older in age now, though. He can do it in spurts, but I don't know if he's still got it left in the tank to take over a game like he did in his heyday. Let me not count him out.
You're saying it's not a long leash. All right, we're moving on from that. Webster, 55-41, fail harder. Leading by 14. This is what we referenced on Saturday. When Adams is off the floor, they've got Webster who can run the point. They feel comfortable. It looks like a Nebraska Kobe Webster right now, the way he's playing these two games.
Yeah, and he did a great job right there, and they've done this the whole game because Reggie Kasunlal can pop. You can't stay too long as a guard. They're dragging out Tyler Weidman even when he shows and forcing that switch. And they're picking on Tyler Weidman a little bit defensively. That time it's Josh Price. Before it was Kobe Webster getting in the paint. In the first half, it was Darius Adams and Jordan Walker.
Off the window for Joshua Price. 57-41, 16-point bulge here for Fail Harder. Justice Jr., the lefty, looks in. Weidman, 10 on the shot clock straight away. His shot is short. Reggie Kasunlal out there with Walker, Webster, Price, and Jaimin Henson. Kasunlal at an open man. Webster, it still comes to him off the crumbs. Walker, rather, and then he had it ripped away by Mack. Shelvin Mack up for Hodges. Hodges, a lob for Gross at the rim.
There it is. All good Dogs going to have to scrap, and it starts with the vet. Shelvin Mack forces a turnover. One option they have is push Shelvin Mack. He's a great decision maker. Maybe you go three guards here, Tate, Justice, and Mack. Speed him up, turn him over.
57-43.
Here's a switch again with Weidman. You have to because of Kasunlal's ability to shoot the ball.
Webster digging in further to the middle. There's a reach here on Justice Jr. of All Good Dogs. James Justice Jr., that's the fourth in the team game.
All Good Dogs. They have to look at putting
Price off the mark, but Henson grabs the offensive board.
There it is again, Weidman and Webster, but he also got Price and Mack.
They go down to Price, and there is another tap away by Shelvin Mack.
Shelvin Mack is built for that. He spent a lot of time guarding bigger people in the block.
Justice Jr., 15-footer.
There goes Mack, 2 turnovers. He can't maybe not take it over a game offensively like he once could, but he's still putting his impact on it defensively. Jump starting All Good Dogs right here.
4-0 run. Get it down to 12. Just outside of a minute remaining in the quarter. Kasunlal comes for the screen. Webster, fall away 3. Gross grabs it.
Push it down the floor. They got the mismatch with Weidman. They got to get it to him.
But it's a late arriving pass, and Webster does well, and now Price can't finish the dunk. Weidman for Gross. Thought about it in the corner. Scoops it off to Justice Jr. and back to Gross. Cuts it to 10, and All Good Dogs scrapping.
Scrapping is exactly the word that was coming to my mind, partner. Getting a couple stops. Maybe cross match. I would look at putting Gross onto Kasunlal to change up that switch.
They go to Price again, and he traveled. He's hit some baskets here, but maybe going to the well a little bit too much, Josh Price, in the flow of the offense. And they're going to bring on Darius Adams for Webster. And Price needs a breather, too. He's been out there a while.
And that's actually, that's on Kobe Webster. You talked about him running the point. His job there is to see the mismatch. He threw it into the post with Price and Shelvin Mack instead of attacking Tyler Weidman, which has been working for Phil Harder all game.
Shelvin Mack holding for the last shot here with 11 seconds remaining in the quarter. Mack on the roll to Thomas. Thomas takes it inside, wanted to tomahawk it. Kasunlal, they're going to call the foul on Big 55, the 7-footer. He thought he got all ball.
Shelvin Mack with the master class in impacting basketball the past 3-4 minutes. Forced 2 Phil Harder turnovers. Made great decisions in the pick and roll. Sets Thomas up right there to go to the line. Doesn't always have to score 20, but he's bringing all good dogs back with his poise and decision making.
Jalen Thomas makes it a 7-0 run. It was a 16-point game for Phil Harder, looking to run away and hide. Heading to the fourth quarter, now it's 57-48. Back inside 10 points. The 6'10 Detroit, Michigan native Thomas hits the second free throw, 57-49. A lot of that time with Adams off the bench comes right back on. Banking hours open after 9 p.m. here in Indianapolis. What a dagger to end the quarter. Darius Adams for 3.
Yeah, that's what happens when you got a big bank roll. He's done his thing in China for years. The bank stays open late when you're a hefty customer, and Darius Adams going and taking some out there for Phil Harder. That's a huge shot for him to close the quarter.
Don't ask about the exchange rate. 60-49. Phil Harder by 11. Heading to the fourth quarter here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. We'll have it for you in a moment. TBT 25. You're watching the tournament on YouTube.
As a reminder, TBT will use the Elam ending at the conclusion of tonight's game. At the first dead ball with 4 minutes to go, the game clock will shut off. The Tucker score will be set by adding 8 points to the lead score. The first team to reach that target score wins.
The basketball tournament continues here in Indianapolis to the fourth quarter of this second regional semifinal of the 8 regions across here for the 12th edition of the tournament. Neil Sika, Jordan Taylor, 60-49. Phil Harder leads all good dogs. And it's all to play for. And when we get inside 4 minutes at the first stopped dead ball or timeout, we hit the Elam ending. We'll play to the +8 target score for the winning team at the time. Bingham into Walker.
Phil Harder with a similar formula to last game. Here they go again. They're going to bring Weidman in the ball screen.
Adams contortions himself. He just ended that third quarter emphatically with the long 3 off the glass. And now Darius Adams, who's got 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists at the foul line.
Again, Phil Harder started this game 5 of 16, 1 of 8 from 3, not taking the best or the most high quality shots. Since then, 18 for 31 and 6 for 13 from 3. They've been picking on Tyler Weidman in this pick and roll. Little miscommunication there from Hodges and Weidman. It's Kasunlaw's ability to pop that's causing a lot of indecision.
Tate, he'll swing it to Mack. And against the zone for Failharder for the moment, missed the three. Reggie Kasunlaw, he'll lug it along up floor. Now an officiating timeout. Darius Adams is hampered for the moment. That's also the one thing for Adams. He played 34 minutes, Jordan, in that game against Assembly Ball. At the ripe old age of 36, you watch your minutes count. These games that are really highly contested. He tried to pull off the dramatics through the legs of Weidman, paid the price for it. Now Weidman going up. And that ball was swatted away by Walker, bringing it down on Weidman. It will go off of Walker and stay with All Good Dogs.
That was extremely disrespectful by Darius Adams, trying to throw it through his legs. Weidman kind of knocked him over.
He missed the three. Kasunlaw's out in transition, and he's got an easy dunk at the rim.
Kasunlaw plays with a joy that is infectious.
He is perfect for television, or at least in the coverage of it. Kasunlaw's going to grab that out of the air, and messy possessions here the last two times down for All Good Dogs, and Adams trying to drive the knife a little further. 15-point lead. Pass to the middle, Gross coming down I-70.
Great pass by Miles Tate, and if you're Failharder, you don't want to mess around. A couple of lackadaisical possessions from Adams there. You don't want to fall asleep. You got him down. At Hinkle, don't let this crowd get into it.
Jaimin Henson engaged was Tate, but a little too feisty. Commits the foul.
Here goes the three-guard lineup that we mentioned. They haven't gone to it. Go Shelvin Mack, and here Kasunlaw is going to sit down. I would still think about cross-matching Gross to put him in a lot of the ball screen action, allow him to guard the switches rather than Weidman.
All Good Dogs cut it to 9, once trailing by 16, but the lead 13 again. Henson fends off 2, goes back to Walker. Jordan Walker explodes. Chua finishes the job.
All Good Dogs fatigued right now. They got about a minute and a half to try and make a push, get this close before the Elam ending.
Active hands, Henson. Tate keeps it alive. Justice Jr. a 3. Nope. Every second ball, the 50-50s coming up right now for Failharder. Adams the crossover. Adams inside. Adams left it short, but he was obstructed. You can see their durability maybe taking over too in this scenario late on in the closing time of the game. 66-51 Failharder. Upending one nemesis Saturday, and this is a rematch again, a reminder of the first round last year, which was a 23-point All Good Dogs win, but a recalibrated roster. Young and hungry guys from in and around the Circle City. And they're circling it back and looking on a path forward into the regional final tomorrow night against Carmen's Crew. 68-51.
Why is it called the Circle City?
Well, there's that circle in the middle of downtown, but
Oh, okay.
I got to figure out a little bit more of the history.
Shoot, you got all the history. I figured, my bad. That might be the first time I stumped
Around
you.
the square.
There we go. Might be.
The Motor Speedway. I mean, that's more of an oval, but.
Tell you one thing: if we ever do any type of quiz competition, you're on my team.
Well, I wouldn't call that a great answer, though.
That's all right. You can't win them all.
Yeah, right. I wasn't expecting trivia from you there. Tate hits the 3. That's okay. Running out the string on this second night. Walker. Good looking shot, but it's in and out. Tate's got it. Comes along, looking for a second 3 in a row, and now they're in triple mode. And that's an air ball.
Tate hit one, tried to go back to the well. It's kind of the signal to Failharder, though. Now you See something like that, you see they're on the ropes, you know they're on the ropes. This is where you get back to what you do well and bury them when you have the chance. Don't let all good dogs hang around. As Jaden Terry checks in.
I was kind of right. The Monument Circle, Circular Plaza in the heart of downtown.
See?
All right.
I trust the gut, man.
Yeah.
I believed in you.
I didn't know if there was anything more than that, except for a monument. But great town in the Midwest. Here's Terry, who's on for the first time tonight and in the tournament. Chua and Price all have smacks at it at the rim. Webster keeps it alive for Henson.
Great pass by Terry. Price went a little Smokey Robinson.
Oh, here's Webster looking a little Linda Ronstadt, blue by you, but he's fouled inside. And he's going to the foul line. Well, fail harder. It's really impressive to see what they've done and experience right from one tournament to the next and how you can recalibrate maybe the pieces that you need. All teams kind of go through this, finding themselves and what's the right balance to succeed in a competition like this.
Yep, and then you got to get guys who find the rhythm at the right time, and that is Kobe Webster right now. He is finding it.
Kobe Webster played in Montenegro just this past season, averaged 14 a game. A little bit of the Monte Carlo there, if you will, 69-54. Jaden Terry, who's from Indianapolis, another Indy kid, Lawrence Central. Played at Elam, Division III ball. Started at Tiffin. He's defending now on Tate. About a minute and away plus change for the Elam ending. Gross. Careens into Price. Gets the contact. Just the third team foul on Fail Harder in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, disappointing for the all good Dawgs / Butler faithful here. I don't know, it showed signs of life at the end of that first half. Other than that, Fail Harder has dominated this game wire to wire.
And even the start that All Good Dogs got off to, they were in the lead, they were playing in control, but not necessarily hitting shots consistently. So you never got the sense that they were going to drive the narrative of the game tonight.
Yeah, it almost felt like Fail Harder's inability to get good shots was the reason for their lead.
Well, they are succeeding. They'll be on and looking at the date with the 1 seed tomorrow. Giant Killers, the Alumni Killers, can they make it 3 for 3 tomorrow night? Of course, pending something miraculous here, the leak out to Gross. And it's 69-58. We're just 38 seconds away or so from the Elam ending portion and the target time.
It's a huge possession for All Good Dogs. You got to get a stop here.
We should not say this is not over by a long shot. And the price is right. Josh Price for 3. 72-58.
Huge shot. Great read by Kobe Webster. Price continuing to show his versatility.
Gross. That shot fake. Weidman hasn't had the impact from the three-point line. He thought he had continuation there coming inside, even though he drew the contact. Not happy with the fact that there wasn't that. Price's third foul.
Looks like they're going to score it.
Oh, they will.
Overturn the call. Rare do you see that.
72-60, so count the bucket. And a free throw coming for Weidman, who finished up this past year over in Israel. Said he loved playing there. You were high on your time over in the country.
Beaches and good weather. What else can you ask for when you're away from home?
A nice meal.
Great food as well.
Yeah. I was leading you there.
Yeah. You're the perfect setup, man. I needed you when I was playing, man. Might have got farther.
Would you eat out a lot overseas, or would you cook in the apartment or the living conditions? How would that go for you? They probably had team meals, too.
Yeah, well, no, not really. But some places, you know, Tokyo, we had chefs in some places. But I would eat out. I would eat out more so. It depends on the city. Tel Aviv, A lot of good restaurants. Berlin had a lot of good restaurants. When I was in Limoges, France, a nice day out was a trip to the supermarket. So I'm going to go grab some fish and do a lot of cooking there.
Wherever you've been around the world, it's hard to compete with those soft pretzels here at Hinkle Fieldhouse.
You know?
72-61. Fail harder with 3:56 remaining. Timeout called by Tyler Neal. That means we are heading inside of 4 minutes to the Elam ending. And if you're unfamiliar, it's the leading team now +8. So we are playing to 80 points. And the first one to get there wins the game. Want to win on a made basket or a point of some kind, and fail harder as the regional final here in Indianapolis set in their sights. Carmen's Crew, the 1 seed, got by Fort Wayne champs 73-69 in the first semi. Home court advantage playing such a big role in this year's edition, the 12th edition of the basketball tournament. Elite Nation and Best Virginia will meet in one of the regional finals tomorrow in West Virginia.
Another one? That one wasn't.
Giving a look at the rest of the bracket here. NXT ERA Elite, they were the ones who upset, or they beat Raleigh Legends. Raleigh Legends were the ones who upset Happy Valley Hoopers, one of the 1 seeds that went down. Shell Shock, the 2 seed in James Madison. They'll play in the regional final tomorrow. Eberline Drive has had deep runs in recent years, and La Familia, Kentucky Alumni, got by the Auburn alums 80-76 in a nail-biter in the Elam ending. LA Ignite will face Sideline Cancer. You've got the 7-4 matchup there. Sideline Cancer beat the Louisville alumni. Forever Cougs holding serve, the Houston alums. They've got Aftershocks. That's a 1-2 matchup. Still got Boeheim's Army playing against We Are D3, Green Mountain Men, Stars of Stores. Carmen's Crew awaits the winner of this one, and we're in target score period. Going to 80. Adams drives with his team leading 72-61 for fail harder. There was contact there, but no whistle, and the ball dislodged. It'll remain with fail harder.
It gets physical here in the Elam ending. Gonna have to finish through contact, play strong.
Adams brushing off of Weidman on one leg. How do you stop that?
You don't. That's a tough shot. That's Darius Adams' specialty, scoring the ball. But again, just getting the switch with Weidman and taking advantage of it.
6 points away now, fail harder. Shelvin Mack, no, off the front rim. Weidman rebounds. Justice Jr.
Damn.
Those legs, he got extended, but tipped around. Weidman, his second offensive board on the trip, scores.
Soonlaw, a bit incredulous, thought he should have got a foul called on that offensive rebound.
74-63. Soonlaw, Webster. Indianapolis Regional will meet the winner of the Syracuse Regional in the quarterfinals. That'll be determined tomorrow night who comes out of this bracket. Adams, they work it. Webster patiently. Bench rises, but he missed the 3. Tate off to Mack. Well, you alluded to it. They're going with that 3-guard look, which they did late in the fourth quarter. 74-63.
Space the floor, get into fail harder. You got to have that.
Weidman, splash. 74-66, needed it, got it.
That was the spark for them in the opening round. Hopefully it's not too little too late if you're an All Good Dogs fan.
And Adams was defended in a straitjacket there. Maybe a tug of the arm on the crossover. He's down, a foul called. And All Good Dogs, that's their 5th. 4th foul on James Justice Jr. You get 6. Jordan Webster returns for fail harder. It'll be 1 shot and then possession for fail harder. 8 o'clock tomorrow is the time of the regional final. You can catch that on FS2. Neil Sika, Jordan Taylor with you here. Elam ending time. Darius Adams, 23 points. He had 21 on Saturday. 16 of those in the second half. This has been a steady diet of Adams tonight, though. Need to get to 80, and it goes to Bingham. Now Adams defended by Tate. Here comes the hedge from Weidman in his face. Adams lets it fly. Kasoon-Lall can't rip it away from Gross. Tate tight ropes the sidewalk. Justice Jr. Now for Gross in the middle. And Mack, straightaway three, no. Gross the rebound, keeps it alive. Weidman from the wing, he left it short. Now back and strong and fouled and scored. Weidman keeping the hopes alive of All Good Dogs. Whittled it to 7 and a free throw coming here.
All Good Dogs hanging around behind Weidman. They got to get one of these threes to fall from these guards. Defensively, though, is obviously the challenge. Fail harder, 5 points away. I would implore All Good Dogs to change up the coverage, run somebody at Darius Adams or Webster on that switch with Weidman or Hedge. Make Kasoon-Lall make a play. Get it out of Darius Adams' hands.
See if the fans come to life here with a 6-point game. Adams has it. Darius Adams from Decatur, Illinois. His marvelous career overseas. Back out to Bingham. His three rims out. Tapped away, and it is last off of Webster. In a hustle for it on the sideline. It is a 6-point game. And it's possession to All Good Dogs. And the fans, with every moment going in the higher seeds direction, they get a little bit louder. Maybe a little bit more belief.
A really heady play there by James Justice Jr. to tap that away from Kasoon-Lall on the offensive rebound.
Mack gets the screen from Gross, looks right back inside to him, and Gross has got a layup. And it's a timeout for Fail Harder. All Good Dogs have cut it to 4. We're playing to 80.
Shelvin Mack, the vet. High screen and roll. Great rim run by Ty Gross, and Mack delivers a rocket on time, on target.
It's a 10-3 run here since the Elam ending portion started for All Good Dogs. They were down 72-61. They've trailed by as many as 16 twice in the second half, and it looked, with the body language, the fatigue, like the game could have been done and dusted, but this is something that can give you a second win, this Elam ending opportunity.
100%, and All Good Dogs taking full advantage. Tyler Weidman hasn't had the best night defensively, but he's doing his thing offensively as usual, carrying All Good Dogs with 23 points, 5 rebounds. Ty Gross getting into the mix with 19 and 8, 7 of 8 from the floor for him. And Shelvin Mack has no points. He's 0 for 5, but he's got 4 assists, and he's been a catalyst, as well as obviously Miles Tate and James Justice Jr. This is the lineup. Looks like they found something. They're going to rock with it. But still, Fail Harder, I'd go back to actually bringing Kobe Webster on the ball, looking for that switch with Weidman, and attacking with Kobe Webster. Don't settle for the three. You got Darius Adams off the ball in that situation. You're essentially playing 4-on-4 unless you help off of Darius Adams, which is an automatic no-no.
Man, you're so smart. Webster is back on the floor. 3-guard lineup, which was working for All Good Dogs. That's the analyst bump from Jordan Taylor. But what can Webster do with it? 75-71. Adams. Need to get to 80. Slipping and falling to Bingham. Drives baseline. Mack a steal. They've gone cold now. And turning it over, Fail Harder.
Well, Shelvin Mack and those guards creating havoc.
And Mack looks inside. Gross. Another one. 2-point game.
Shelvin Mack, the NBA vet, put it in his hands. He's getting stops. He ain't scoring it, but he's carrying the All Good Dogs offense by making plays along with Weidman.
Bingham looks over to Chua, who's got an easy dunk at the rim. They left him alone. Now 3 points away, Fail Harder, and that's a huge, huge bucket to stop the 12-3 bleeding. Weidman's going to let it rip. It's off the mark. It's tipped by Henson, and will stay on that baseline with All Good Dogs.
A mistake by Phil Harder right there. They got away with it. Weidman wasn't able to connect. But again, it's the Shelvin Mack Ty Gross ball screen. Got to give credit to Gross for his rim run. He's forcing a reaction with his paint touch. The defense collapses. Weidman just couldn't connect. But Sean Van Zandt has shown a proclivity to get good action out of these end line out of bounds after the timeout. Let's see what he draws up here.
77-73, Fail Harder. Each team with one timeout remaining. The possession arrow favors all good dogs. Fail Harder has one foul to give. Neil Sika, Jordan Taylor. How lucky are we to see some of the basketball that's been on display in this regional?
The TBT not failing to deliver at all. Great competition here in this region. Not what we expected. We thought Assembly Ball was going to be here, but it's Fail Harder, the underdogs.
They were throwing around the group of death this region with who was in town. We've got Lance Stevenson, the former Pacer, 3 stints with them, watching this game. He's standing right now, excited about what's developing with all good dogs. 77-73. Of course, there's probably some indie ties there on both sides.
In support of Fail Harder, the Stars are out. John Diebler, Butler coach Thad Mata.
They go inside to Weidman, who almost looked like he was going to the long jump and over the bar, or the high jump really, with that acrobatic move on the pass inside. He's fouled. Chua gets the foul. That's the 5th on the team for Fail Harder, and the free throw's coming for Weidman.
Really good by Coach Van Zandt. Runs the elevator trap door play out of the timeout. Fail Harder's got to honor the 3-point shot because of the score. Tyler Weidman with the savvy play to slip the screen and get the layup. Couple of celebrities down there. You got Marcus Teague in the house as well. David Logan, international legend. The basketball in Indy. The greatness on full display right here.
It's undefeated. 77-75, fans on their feet. Here's Adams going for the win. Can't contortion himself into a great shot, but he got the rebound back. And now a timeout for Fail Harder, and this is maybe the situation where you need 3 points. Can you fall in love with a 3 too much trying to win the game? La Familia was in a similar circumstance trying to close out War Eagle yesterday, and it led to successive possessions where War Eagle was able to get back into the game. Now, all good dogs are right there, but what's the strategy out of this timeout right now for Fail Harder in the attempt to get the game done?
Well, I think there's about 2 people on the planet that would shoot a shot like Darius Adams just attempted. Luka Doncic might be another one, but 100% you're right. We talked to Jared Sullinger of Carmen's crew, the defending champs. You have to get the shots you want. You have time. You don't have to get a 3. I think you run some action, misdirection that would suggest a 3, potentially with Darius Adams, and look for a slip off the screen of some sort, cause some indirection, indecision from All Good Dogs, similar to what All Good Dogs just did to Fail Harder on the end lines out of bounds.
Everyone is standing here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. All Good Dogs. They've outscored Fail Harder 14-5 since the Elam ending took over. But 3 points away, Fail Harder. 5 points away, All Good Dogs. This is Adams. Gets 2 coming out, flashing at him. Goes to Bingham. Over to Webster. Defended by Justice Jr. 5 on the shot clock. Webster, it's partially deflected. And then down low it rolls fortuitously to Chua. 3 All Good Dogs around. Could not see that loose ball because of the block. They were going up for the rebound, and that goes to Chua, who's fouled. It is a 2-shot foul. He was in the act of shooting. If it's a non-shot, then it's 1 shot and then possession.
That was a great defensive possession by All Good Dogs. The first time they've doubled Darius Adams. James Justice gets the block.
Kendrick Chua, who played at the University of Indianapolis, was a Greyhound. Rims out the free throw.
Turned into a rugby scrum down there under the basket. When Webster rose up, nobody saw it.
2 years ago, he led all 3 divisions in the NCAA field goal percentage from the field, 73%. Splits the free throws. They're a bucket away. 78-75, and All Good Dogs really need to score on this trip.
All you need is a 2. You don't need a 3. You're in a good position here.
Shelvin
Go
Mack.
back to that high ball screen with Mack and Gross.
And they've both got a touch here. Tate back to Gross. Gross thought about pulling it on the 3. It goes to Mack. Fans anxious here. Shelvin Mack over to Tate. Tate with the dribble drive and brought it down low, and then it went sailing in the air like a balloon, but they say a foul. Darius Adams a foul. 2 shots for Tate.
Tate, you gotta have them both here. Put the pressure on, fail harder. Becomes kind of a next bucket win situation. What else do you want? TBT on display.
Raise your hand if you thought we'd see this scenario about 10 minutes ago. Up in the air. That's why this tournament has so much drama, so much great theater. Miles Tate hits the free throw. He had 18 against Shield 219. He's got 11 in this game. One of 4 in double figures for all good dogs. Makes both. 1-point game, 78-77. We're playing to 80 here in the semifinal. Trip to play Carmen's Crew on the line tomorrow night in the regional final. Adams looking for the closeout here to the baseline. Bobbled it, lost possession. Tyler Neal, irate, he wanted a call. Adams felt he got hacked on the arm, and it's given back to all good dogs.
Tough angle for us over here.
A timeout taken. Each had 1 left. They will say it's all good dogs timeout. Their final timeout. 78-77. They can win it with a 3. Darius Adams, credulous. So is Tyler Neal. You think a player like him oftentimes gets the benefit of the doubt, but in this scenario, trust your gut if you're the officiating crew.
I think you mentioned it, falling in love with the 3 allowed a team to get back in the game. You saw it in the War Eagle game. Not that Fail Harder fell in love with the 3, but I think they did fall in love with the one-on-one game and not with the right matchup. Darius Adams, one of the best scorers internationally, maybe to ever do it. But you got Tyler Weidman. Go find the mismatch if that's how you want to play. Miles Tate is an outstanding defender, and foul or not, a little bit of a miscue, some tough shots taken, not good decisions by Fail Harder. All good dogs here. I think you got to go for the jugular and go for the win while you got the momentum.
78-77, a 3 can win it for all good dogs. They've got Mack, Gross, Tate, Justice Jr., and Weidman. That's 3-guard arsenal has been the difference turning it around for all good dogs. Tate up the floor, defended by Webster. They run motion over for Weidman. He's their big 3-point shooter. You've got Shelvin Mack. They go back to Weidman for the game. Weidman, no. Batted out by Gross to Weidman. Goes again. No, he missed it. Justice Jr.'s got it back. Keeps it alive. Throws it back out. Into the hands of Fail Harder. Chua comes up with it. 2 good looks to win it. Now only a bucket will do for Fail Harder.
Sean Van Zandt, what a play call. Wide open shot. Weidman couldn't get it to go.
Even Thad Mata is standing here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Webster, the pull-up from 15. No! It's tapped in by Walker! Fail Harder on to the regional final.
Wow.
Jordan Walker wins it for Fail Harder, who finds their way through again. They dominated the second half. They led by 16 twice. It was nearly snatched away moments ago with Weidman having 2 looks for all good dogs. But Fail Harder and the succession rate and the heart rate goes through the roof with the way that game ended. Wow.
What a basketball game, partner. Sean Van Zandt draws up everything you could have wanted. Tyler Weidman has shot that shot at about 90% in this tournament. He gets the look, it doesn't go. On the other end, Kobe Webster's been making that pull-up at about 90%. But Jordan Walker with the heady play. All good dog falls asleep on the offensive rebound. And the way they feasted yesterday with the win, Ty Gross with the putback. You get them, you lose them the way you get them is what they say. But what a fantastic game here at Hinkle.
Jake Mills, the GM, said Jordan Walker, each time I've seen him play the last 5 or 6 times in action, he's elevated his game each time. The most important elevation yet, to the rim to tip that back in and send Fail Harder into the regional final tomorrow night, 80-77 over All Good Dogs. And they will play Carmen's Crew with a trip to make it out of Indianapolis. They put their advancement up on the bracket. We have been spoiled with some fantastic ball here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. And it looked like they had it in cruise control, Jordan. And then the fighting spirit, the competitive nature. Shelvin Mack, you knew how tough of a pro he was. He wasn't going to let All Good Dogs just lie down and die. And they battled back valiantly in the Elam ending portion, getting this game within 1 point and an opportunity to win it. They had 2 good looks with Weidman shooting threes at the other end.
Yeah, and they finally went to changed up the defense there. Even the last possession, they finally brought Ty Gross to the switch. He had a great contest on Webster, but you got to put a body on somebody. You hate to lose a game like that by losing a missed block out with a chance to go to the other end. But again, All Good Dogs left everything out there in front of the home crowd. And there's a feast, some feasting, 1s and 2s and 3 seeds in other regions, as the home court advantage is gone.
Now the treats belong to Fail Harder. They beat All Good Dogs. They've beaten the 2 seed. They've beaten the 3 seed. They get the defending champs, the 1 seed tomorrow, and the 3rd Alumni team coming up tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Fox Sports 2. Can't wait for that one.
It'll be a good one.
Great job today. Jordan Taylor, I'm Neil Sika. We thank you for watching. 80-77 the final score. Fail Harder over All Good Dogs, and the putback by Jordan Walker is the difference to send Fail Harder on in an enthralling Elam ending portion of the game. Those final 4 minutes where All Good Dogs made the push. Carmen's Crew, Fail Harder tomorrow, 8 o'clock on Fox Sports 2. We thank you for watching from Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, here at Butler University. For Jordan Taylor, I'm Neil Sika. Good night.